A girl named Well is a gamer with the nickname Speedrun. She dreams of greatness, but now her dreams are unreachable, because it will take a lot of time and effort. In 2017, the father of a girl named Carlos sent her daughter to an interview at a diner. Well promises to go to the interview, but she gets into her boyfriend's car at the house. They go to the battle. If the girl wins the competition, she will receive $10,000 and can move away from her father. Her opponent will be Kilohertz, the winner of all competitions. The game begins. Speedrun scores points to get to the first line on the table. At this time, Kilohertz closes his eyes and kills his opponents without looking at the screen. Well is not inferior to him. At the end, they both stay in the game. The victory is one step away, but the Kilohertz eventually defeats her. Well loses, but still goes to the final. She doesn't understand how her opponent plays like this. Well is approached by a man named Kojima, who says he knows the secret of victory. Well is puzzled, but before she can say anything, Kojima hands her a card and leaves. Back home, Well has to lie to his father. The man is angry because Well didn't come to the interview and she also forgot about her grandmother. The girl tells him the truth about where she was during the day, which makes her father even angrier. He orders her to go to the diner next day and asks for an interview herself. Well reports that the final of the tournament will also take place the next day, which is more important for her future. Later, she watches podcast about the game, notes Kojima business card and remembers him talking about the secret of victory. She decides to come to the given address. Kojima invites her to play a game. Well still doesn't understand what she's doing here, but starts playing, and then loses. Kojima hands the girl a bottle of energy called Impulse 9. Well takes a little sip of the drink and begins to see everything in slow motion. As a result, the game that was impossible to play now became extremely easy for her. Suddenly, Well wakes up and discovers that he's sitting at the table with Kojima, who explained that Impulse 9 is stretched time for whoever drinks it. It also turns out that an hour has passed since Well drank the energy drink. The length of the extended time depends on the amount of drink consumed. The price of this drink is $500 a bottle. Well says the price too high, but suddenly recalls and girl begins to understand her secret of success. He also used the Impulse 9. Well finally decides to buy a drink. The next day in the arena, Well takes out a bottle of drink and puts it next to the keyboard. Well takes a small sip. She begins to dominate the leaderboard. Seeing this, Roy also drinks the Impulse 9 and begins to rise in the rankings. Well gets desperate, so she drinks the whole bottle. Time for Roy is now extremely slow. She's taking full advantage of it. She eventually defeats Roy and wins the entire tournament. Evan rushes to congratulate his girlfriend. The bottle of energy falls to the floor and breaks. At this point, Well returns to reality and finds himself sitting at a dilapidated house with a child in his arms. Evan enters the room in dirty clothes and tells Well to prepare. She is confused and horrified to see her adult body in her wedding ring. Two other kids call her mom. Well gets sick of the shock and runs out of the house. It's even worse outside. She forgot her gas mask, without which it's impossible to breathe. It turns out that now 24/7. Her husband Evan goes to work and she has to pick up her children from school. The town is a mess. People live in tents under the open sky. The fact that the world has become so terrible, guilty people who use the Impulse 9. So they are all driven out of the town. It turns out that Well is the sheriff of the town. She pretends to understand everything, so she orders one of them to be sent behind the wall that surrounds the city from dangerous creatures. The siren sounds and a storm is coming. Well puts on a gas mask and returns home. She's completely confused about everything that's going on, but she reminds herself that she can get through all the trouble. She is called to duty in the toilets, which turns out to be a part of her duties. In the evening, she is burdened with household chores and children. As the day passes, Well begins to adjust the customs of an apocalyptic society. One day she takes the kids out of school. Her daughter Sophia shows her mother her drawing, but Well is very tired and does not appreciate the efforts of the little girl. When she gets home, she finds Evan pedaling his bicycle to turn on the game console, because there is no electricity. To Well's surprise, it turns out to be her favorite game. She agrees to play one round before putting the children to bed. When Evan goes to work, Well and the kids start playing. After a few hours, Evan bursts into the room and horrified reports that Well has missed her ship at the gate. As a result, one of the residents didn't enter the town and was killed by a lizard. Well is sorry, she tries to go home, but Evan says she still has to finish her guard shift. At the end of her shift, Well returns home. Believing she has no place in this new world, Well decides to leave everything and go to the Badlands. She writes Evan a letter and leaves home with the intention of never coming back. Evan reads a letter in which the wife admits that she was actually using Impulse 9. The tournament with Roy was for her only a week ago. Yesterday she understood why people in town send people like her to die. There is no place in civilized society for a teenager, trapped in a doll body. She walks on barren ground and stumbles across an abandoned Kojima diner. To her surprise, Kojima is inside, but he hasn't aged a day. He learns that Will has just returned to reality and admits that many lives have been ruined by this drink. However, he can give her more. The man pulls out a large bottle. If she drinks it all at once, she will never come back to his world again, because she will travel hundreds of years into the future. Val takes the bottle and asks to turn on her game, but when she decides to drink a bottle, she finds a drawing of her daughter. She returns to the town to reunite with her family, but her husband refused to let her in. Suddenly they hear gunshots and realize that the Lizards of Death are approaching the town. It turns out that the Lizards of Death are a group of people who are cannibals and hunt other people. The city residents begin to scatter, and Val tries to calm the people down and organize a defense, but they don't listen to her. She asks her husband to take the children and leave the city. She stands alone on the gate, grabs a large bottle of Impulse 9, and prepares for battle. It turns out that the leader of the dead lizards is none other than Roy, who said that a few years ago he returned to reality, and now became a barbarian leader who will kill anyone he wants. Despite his threats, Val joins the fight. As it turns out, she's already drank all the energy drink and has gone into the slow motion. A fierce firefight ensues, and Val manages to eliminate almost everyone. Suddenly she is shot in the stomach and shoulder. Roy shoots at Val but misses. She shoots back and successfully kills Roy. She fires a missile, signaling to Evan that the city is safe. Evan notices the flash and Val slowly dies. In the comments, tell me if you like this story. How much would you rate it on a 10-point scale? And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell.